Welcome to the 2020 St. Genevieve County Candidates Forum, co-hosted by the St. Genevieve Herald and the University of Missouri Extension Center. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mark Evans, editor of the St. Genevieve Herald.
Okay, and I'm Estrella Carmona, CES or MU Extension here in St. Genevieve County. Okay, and we'd like to go over the format first. We will be beginning the first session with the state representatives. Bryant Wolfen and Dale Wright will join us. We will allow for 1 to 2 minute intro, an opening statement or a background. And we have 4 questions for you, and each question you will have 2 minutes to reply. And we'll alternate who goes first. Based on alphabetical order, we'll have Bryant Wolfen introduce himself first, and Dale Wright will do that second. And when we get to the first question, we'll allow Dale Wright to go first and Bryant to go second, and we'll do that through the questions and through the closing statements. So Bryant, if you don't mind, would you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Well, thank you very much. It is an odd scenario that normally in the past, when you go alphabetical order, Wolfen is always last. So it is weird that I'm not last here. So first of all, I'd like to thank the St. Genevieve Herald and the Missouri University Extension. We appreciate you for hosting this event. So my name is Bryant Wolfen. I am 29 years old. My wife of 7 years, Megan, and I we live here in St. Genevieve. We have 3 children, Lennox, who is 5, Lincoln, who is 3, and Letty, who is 5 months. I graduated from West County over in the Leadwood area back in 2009. And I also graduated from Mineral Area College with my associates in business management in 2011. My wife and I were small business owners. We own and operate BMW Convenience, which consists of 2 gas stations or convenience stores located in Fredericktown and Valley Mines. I have sat on many municipal boards in St. Genevieve, anywhere from I presently sit on the TV board. I've been on the Downtown TIF Commission. I've been on the Board of Adjustments, and I've also been a Board of Aldermen. So that's a little bit of experience that I have. I have been endorsed by a leading conservative group called the Americans for Prosperity. I've also been endorsed by another very conservative group named Young Americans for Liberty. They believe in small government. They believe in individual liberty. I have the highest rating that a non-incumbent can receive with the NRA. I have the highest rating or survey that you can receive that a non-incumbent can receive with the Missouri Right to Life. And I've received 100% on my survey with the Missouri Firearms Coalition. And that is pretty much my intro, and thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. That was perfect time. Dale Wright, would you please share with us some of your background?
You bet. Well, and I too want to thank you, the Extension Center and the Herald, for the opportunity of presenting myself and my credentials. I've had the privilege of being your state representative for the last 2 years, and it's been a real learning experience for me. And I have learned up there that the best state reps up there are the ones who have life experience and usually are retired, where they have a career behind them, where they can spend full time representing the people in their districts. I have 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. I have 10 grandkids. I have 2 great-grandchildren, and I have 1 on the way. I had the privilege of working in healthcare throughout my life. Most recently, I've done consulting. I have a consulting company. It's works nationally, Actalor Group. Prior to that, I worked for a company called the Marinet, It was a $7.5 billion corporation, and I was president of one of the subsidiaries. And then I was also the chief contracting officer, which is usually most companies the chief operating officer for the company. We had 90,000 clients across the country, and I had the opportunity of and the real privilege of learning from some of the world's best executives at Verizon, 3M, Johnson & Johnson, Kimberly-Clark, and so on. So I've had some real good experience there, I believe. During my freshman year, I was able to do something that most freshmen don't get to do, and that is got to sponsor a bill that was signed by the governor. It just happened to be House Bill 2315, which was the conveyance of land for St. Genevieve to the National Park Service. I was also majority whip on the majority whip team. I was declared freshman of the year due primarily to my education, my medical experience. I was also elected immediately class president of the incoming legislators. I was claimed champion of the year by the Chamber of Commerce, or chamber champion by the Chamber of Commerce. I've also received a letter from Missouri Right to Life that I'm the only candidate in this race that they are endorsing. Matter of fact, I'd like to read that they are pleased to endorse your candidacy for the 2020 primary and general election. This endorsement represents our selection of you as the only candidate in your race that will be an effective voice for the protection of the innocent and the human. I also have been endorsed by the NRA. I'm the only one they're endorsing officially. So I want everybody to understand that. I've also been endorsed by the cattlemen. I've been endorsed by several of the union labor unions.
Thank you, Dale. Your time is up.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, the first question, let's start with Dale. What do you consider to be the most crucial issues facing District 116, and how will you address them?
Most critical situations, is that what you said, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. Yes, well, first and foremost, in my opinion, is protecting the unborn. They need protection, and I was honored and proud to be able to be one of the co-signers of, or excuse me, one of the voters for that House Bill 125. It's one of the strongest pro-life bills in the nation, and so I was honored to do that. There was some literature coming out from Mr. Wolfen stating that I grudgingly signed it. That's absolutely not the case. I enthusiastically endorsed it. My only thing was I thought we could make it even better by putting a protection in for the mother's life and rape and incest. But I enthusiastically endorsed it, and really, and that's kind of the cornerstone of everything that I went up there for. I also think that we need to protect our First and Second Amendment rights, to be able to protect our assembly, our freedom of speech. Obviously, as an A-rated NRA endorsee, we need to fervently protect our right to arms. So those are things that we need to do. I would also tell you, as a state representative, I have learned that we have children out there in drug-infested homes who are living from couch to couch and house to house with family, friends, and so on. So we have a critical epidemic there. So those are some of the things I think we need to address. Obviously, school, we need to keep our schools very strong, and we just need to make sure that we have solid family base for our communities.
All right, thank you. That's your time.
And now, Bryant, same question.
Thanks, Mark. So I semi-agree with Dale. Obviously, the pro-life issue is very near and dear to St. Genevieve in general. I would argue I'm the more 100%, only 100% pro-life candidate in this race. You know, we also closely align on the Second Amendment. I believe I'm more pro-Second Amendment than my opponent here. There's the Second Amendment Protection Act that was in the House this year that unfortunately was killed thanks to the COVID-19 situation. If I get into Jefferson City, I certainly would support that act. I would sponsor that act, and I would be a leader in promoting that act. And what that would do is nullify any unconstitutional federal regulations that could come against our Second Amendment rights. As far as those are obviously very important, but I think there's a couple other things that have hit St. Genevieve in particular. Our District 116, not St. Genevieve, but District 116 in particular is taxes. I believe the people are taxed to death. I think there's several people in this Zoom call that would agree with me. And I think it's time to cut some taxes. We need to be making the hard decisions at the tough decisions at the state level. I think as an alderman, there's no secret that I was a budget hawk. I introduced spending cuts. I pushed the spending cuts. We got spending cuts done. Of course, they unfortunately did not lead to any tax cuts, but that was the idea behind cutting the budget. So we need to let the citizens of District 116 be able to keep more of their hard-earned dollars. And then also we need to start deregulating. We need to allow the farmers to be able to farm more freely. You know, there's something at the federal level called the Prime Act that I would love to try to push at the state level. I don't have time to explain it currently, but I would love to try to push something along those lines at the state level as well. It would certainly help our local farmers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Your time is up. All right, next question. Brian, you will go first this time. How well do you feel you can work with members of both parties in Jefferson City and affect positive changes for this district?
You said members of both parties?
Yes.
I mean, I think we could work together on many issues. There's certainly got to be ways. I know we'll take the state Democrat Party is very heavily pushing or tries to push gun legislation. And I think there's a middle ground here that would not result in taking away our rights. We need to have those sit down arguments. You know, we can work at on the educational level of making sure that, or as far as still sticking to the Second Amendment topic here, trying to work with them and making sure that our schools are being protected without trampling on everybody's Second Amendment rights. You got to sit down, have those conversations. I believe that we can. I'm very open-minded. I mean, I have my set of principles, but I'm never willing to not talk with anybody. Just because you're a Democrat, just because you're Republican, just because you lean liberal, just because you lean hardcore conservative, that doesn't matter to me. I can go up there. I can have a conversation with anybody. Once again, I think I proved that on the board. We had many nights of talking anywhere that our entire board. So I'm no stranger to sitting down with people that have different ideology and working out our kinks.
All right. Dale Wright.
All right. Well, I appreciate you asking this. I think Bryant maybe is not totally coming clean. I had the privilege last year of being actually asked by the Democrats in St. Genevieve County to come and speak to their group, which I did, because when you're a candidate, you can be partisan. However, when you're a representative, you have to represent everybody. So they asked me to speak, and so I did speak. And if they ask me back, I will speak again. And I feel like you can't convert people to your ideas if you don't talk to them. I would also tell you up in Jefferson City, someone, and I know who it is, reported that, gee, I was cavorting with the other side. Well, that's not the case. I was relaying our principles of what we believe, what I believe, strong pro-life, and I believe that we need to work together. And so I'm pleased And you can ask many of the Democrats up there that I did work across the aisle. I had another bill, a Medicaid bill, that would save the state $638 million to $1 billion a year. And I actually had some Democrats that I talked to, along with the CMS, along with our conservative side on our side. And I let several people get involved with that. So we just probably don't disagree. We probably don't agree on how much we should involve each other. The other side of the aisle, they don't have only bad ideas, and we only aren't the only ones that have good ideas. We all need to work together. That said, you don't give up on your conservative principles. You try to convert the other folks to your ideas.
Right, perfect timing. Thank you.
All right, the next question starts with Dale. If reelected, how would you use your role in trying to address health issues like COVID-19 and the opioid situation?
Well, good question again. I've been actively involved with the COVID-19 situation, working with the 3 counties that I represent now, with their county health departments, the directors. I've been a bridge and a conduit between the counties and the state, but also to the federal government as well, working with Senator Hawley and Senator Blunt's staff, along with Jason Smith's staff. And so we've been working together, trying to get resources, the PPE that we need down here. I've been in constant contact with Sylvia Forrester, with Sandra Bell, and with Amber Elliott up in Park Hills area. So we've worked hard together. As far as the opioids, I am a strong proponent of a prescription drug monitoring program. I was one of those who signed on to that and endorsed that. It did pass the House. It did not get through the Senate, but I believe it's merely a tool to give physicians and pharmacists an opportunity to know when someone is actually doctor shopping to get prescription drugs filled. Those who are against it are very concerned about getting their personal property out there in the open market and getting hacked. Well, the truth is already 87% of those in Missouri are already on a PDMP program. So we're only talking about 13% of the people who don't want to be want to have their data out there. Again, if you've ever bought a car, you bought a house, you've gotten credit cards, your information's out there. So it's really not a big risk, and it's a huge tool to help us fight this epidemic of opioids.
Okay, thank you.
And now the same question to Bryant.
Okay, thanks, guys. So yeah, I mean, to kind of piggyback off of what Dale said at the beginning, I mean, as a representative, you certainly have the tools that you could utilize to bring the 3 counties together, to make sure each county's provided the proper guidelines and just has the proper resources to that they need to help this COVID-19 crisis. It's I think St. Genevieve has done a very good job with, or St. Genevieve County has done a very good job. I think St. Francis County has done a very good job. And I think Perryville's done a very good job. I know a majority of theirs have came from a close proximity area, and they've done a good job controlling that. And nobody has had very many over-regulations to do that. So they've done a good job keeping government small and allowing the people to choose and do what they need. As far as the opioid crisis goes, this is one thing that Dale and I do differ on. I do believe PDMP don't work in states. I mean, we're the only states that does not have PDMP, and yet we are still very middle of the road when it comes to the overdose or over uh, over OD. I'm sorry, I can't talk apparently. Over in the overdose type of situation. Typically, in states when PDMP is implemented, there the ODing situation usually increases, and there's obviously privacy rights or the violations that could potentially come with this as well. So statistically, PDMP doesn't work, and privacy issues obviously scare me. So therefore, I do not support a PDMP.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to move now to closing statements. You may share about what makes you the best candidate. So this is your opportunity, and this will be the last part where Dale and Bryant speak. Bryant, you go first. So please share with us
2 minutes
some of your
each.
closing statement, 2 minutes each.
Okay, thank you so much. Once again, I'd like to thank the St. John Herald and the Missouri University Extension for hosting this awesome forum. It's a great transparency tool to allow the constituents to find out where we lie. So I certainly appreciate it. So as we've kind of discussed, or as discussed earlier, I feel like I'm the more conservative voice. That's why I'm doing this. If Dale and I were two sides of the same coin, there'd be no reason for me to run. I have a business and kids to take care of. So, however, I believe we disagree on core fundamental principles of mine, and one being taxes, and another one being small government. And I think when it comes to that, I believe I'm the more conservative candidate. So I certainly appreciate, I've learned so much over the last 5 months in this, and either way, I can't thank Dale enough for being as gracious as he has been to me in this process. And I can't thank him enough for that, for sure. It's been a learning experience. Going door to door, we've talked to the voters, we've met the voters, we've thousands upon thousands of doors, and we know what's this area needs, what they want. And they want true conservatism. They want small government. They want less taxes. And I think I'm the person that best brings that voice to Jeff City. So once again, my name's Bryant Wolfen. I'm a Republican candidate for state representative, House District 116. Hopefully on August 4th, and you can pull a Republican Party primary ballot and check mark or fill in that Bryant Wolfen name. Thank you very much. And thank you guys again for hosting this.
Thank you. Dale?
All right, I too would thank both of you for hosting this. Appreciate the opportunity. Bryant keeps saying that he's more conservative than me. He's really not. I'm about as conservative as you're going to find. That said, I also think that you need to represent all the people all the time, regardless of their party. So I do have an open door. I listen to anybody and everybody. And had an open door in Jefferson City. I appreciate the opportunity of talking to the people and listening to their concerns and their needs. I can assure you, I had hundreds and hundreds of calls, visits, and emails from constituents while I was in Jeff City and while I'm still serving out in the field. And not one time do I ever ask, are you a Republican? Are you conservative? I always try to help all of those who really need the help. I look forward to continuing to serve the people. This isn't about me. It's not about Bryant. It's about the people we serve. And I really do believe that experience counts. I have a 47-year career in healthcare administration and owning major factories. And now that I have 2 years under my belt serving, along with the year that I shadowed Kevin Engler, my predecessor, I have 3 years of experience at the state capitol that serves us well. I have relationships with the governor, with the lieutenant governor, with the speaker. Those are very important when you're trying to get things done for the citizens back here. And again, I believe that I have a maturity level that will continue to support all of the needs that our people have. So I appreciate the opportunity. Bryant's a good young man. I don't think he's ready yet. I think you need to keep me in there for a little while, and appreciate the opportunity. And I will tell you, I am humbled and honored to serve the people of the 116th district. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dale. Thank you, Bryant. That wraps up your session. You are welcome to stay on and listen to the other 6 participants of District 1 and District 2 for County Commissioner. We are also live streaming this on Facebook, so if you want to join us through that route, that you are welcome to. We ask that you do turn off your cameras now, and we will ask for the participant for County Commissioner to please turn on your cameras and unmute yourself. Okay. We'll give Dale and Bryant just a minute. All right, perfect. Okay, so right now we have our 6 candidates for County Commissioner District 1 and District 2. The format is similar to the state representative format. You will have 2 minutes for your opening statements and your background. You will have 2 minutes for each question. We have 4 questions. And then we also allow you 2 minutes for closing statements. We will be doing this in alphabetical order in a rotating fashion. We will begin with Brandy Barr, and he will be the first on opening statements and backgrounds. And then we will continue through with alphabetical order. And so then the first question will move to Don Keene, and then we'll just rotate that way, okay? If that doesn't make sense, please speak up and I can explain that a little bit further. Okay.
All right, Brandy Barr.
Hi, I'm Randy Barr. I'm the 1st District Commissioner. I've been that for 9 years now. I put in 42 years into Mississippi Lime, and I was appointed commissioner by the Governor Nixon on 9/14/2011. I was reelected in November 2012 and 2016. And I was a 1996 candidate for 1st District Commissioner. Out of 4 people, I come in second. I like my job. I think in the last 9 years, I did a lot for this county. I like working for the county and helping the county out as much as I can. And I want to continue to keep doing it.
All right, thank you, Randy. All right, Don Keene.
Good evening. My name is Don King, candidate for the 2nd District Commissioner position. I grew up on a small farm just outside the city limits of St. John. I've lived in this county my entire life, and I've worked here for much of it. I was the general manager of County Good Center for many years, a successful local business. I've dealt with sales, budgets, a staff of 20+ people, made payroll through good times and bad, and along with some great team members, managed to grow business and provide sales tax for the community. I'm no stranger to how business works within a small community. Business needs less regulation, the least amount of taxes possible, a safe, desirable community where its residents can prosper and improve their surroundings. I currently provide real estate services for several utility clients. I negotiate utility and roadway easements, as well as land and property damage settlements for construction projects. This role has allowed me to improve my sales and conflict resolution skills, as well as deal in roadway, utility, and right-of-way legal issues. Having a background in all these areas, as well as construction and overall management, are a perfect fit for the county commissioner position. I will always support our sheriff's department to keep our county safe, support the continuing improvement of the road and bridge department, do my level best to keep an eye on the county budget and make wise use of the tax dollars entrusted to the county. I will bring a conservative mindset to the budget and work to keep taxes as low as possible. Our current commissioners are on a good path of improving our county roads, working with surrounding counties to promote economic growth and procure grants and funding sources for our county, and have made some major investments in recreation for the youth and families in our community. I would like to help serve our community by continuing these projects, as well as increase the growth of existing and new businesses and make St. John County an even more desirable place for people to call home.
Okay, thank you, Don. A friendly reminder, if you are not speaking, if you could please unmute yourself. And then when it is your turn to speak, then you unmute yourself then. Just a friendly reminder, okay? Next is Tony Ritter. You have 2 minutes for your opening statement. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tony Ritter. I'm a father of wonderful kids and grandkids. I'm running for St. Genevieve County Commission, District 2. I am a lifelong resident of St. Genevieve County. I'm a graduate of Valley High School. I'm an active member of Ozora Sacred Heart Parish. I'm a member of the Elks, a member of Little Sling Sportsman's Club, which I was on the board for 20 years, most of them as president and vice president. And during that time, we donated thousands of dollars to local schools and charities. I've been with the operating engineers for 21 years in Bloomsdale Excavating. And my time with Bloomsdale has given me thorough knowledge of the roads and infrastructure. And before that, I worked at the lime kiln for 12 years. And I'm also a lifelong farmer. And in farming and construction, you know, I'm familiar with management of business. And I can identify with the concerns of county residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. If you don't mind, can you please mute yourself? Okay, thank you. All right, next is Micah Rousey.
Hello. First, I'd like to thank the newspaper and the extension for hosting this event. It's appreciated. It's a good way to get out a message to all of the voters on who they should vote for. So hello, everyone. I'm Micah Rousey, and I'm running for District 2 County Commissioner. I first came to St. Gen 11 years ago and was immediately reminded of where I grew up. We made the easy decision to move here when we began to start a family, and my wife is a St. Gen native, and I'm proud that both of my children are too. I have an associate's degree in humanities, a bachelor's of science degree in business information systems, and an MBA in IT management. I've been working in IT consulting for over 20 years and currently serve in a senior management role for a large technology company. My experience in government starts over 20 years ago when I sat on the board of trustees for San Joaquin Delta College, a community college with a student body of over 18,000 people. And my leadership experience started even earlier than that as a member of DMLA International, a Masonic youth group focused on leadership education. Today, I'm a member of the St. Genevieve Lions Club, the Foundation for the Restoration of St. Genevieve. I'm an elected council member for the Mizzou Extension, one of our hosts today. And I'm a member of the Missouri Farm Bureau, and really just an active member of the community. 2 years ago, I ran for presiding commissioner on a platform of accessibility, visibility, and responsibility. And I think those items are still applicable today, and a lot of work needs to be done in those areas. I encourage anybody who's watching this video to go to my website, www.rousey.us, to learn more.
All right, thank you, Micah. Okay. Next, we have Brandy Rusicka. If you would, you have 2 minutes to introduce.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to this candidates forum. It's a pleasure to be able to interact with everyone today. I would also like to thank everybody who made this possible. Mark Evans from the Herald, yourself, and all the folks at the Missouri Extension Office, and everybody else that I don't know by name who's making this happen. My name is Brandy Rusika, and I am, of course, a candidate for the office of County Commissioner, District 2, and I'm on the Republican ballot. A little bit about me. I'm married to my lovely wife, Linda Broomfield Rusika, and I'm proud to be part of a family that includes Jim and Stacy Bell and their daughters, Lauren and Molly, and Shane and April Broomfield, and their sons, Ace and Maverick. A little bit about my history. As far as government experience, I was elected and I served 2 terms as an alderman in the city of St. Genevieve in Ward 4. During that time, my main efforts were focused on being, first and foremost, a good steward of the people's money. I always fought for a fair and balanced budget, and I was always looking for ways to reduce wasteful spending. Led to some heated debates on that board, let me tell you. Something else I experienced in that time is also the working relationship between the city and the county. And it's something that's not often spoken of, but it's very, very important because the two need to function in a harmonious manner in order to benefit everybody to the maximum amount. As far as my work experience, I am retired. I was a self-employed business owner for over 40 years. I operated Sun Thunder Road Garage here in St. Genevieve on Highway 61. Worked with classic and antique automobiles. I've built some show-winning cars that have received many awards. In addition to the car business, I've been involved in rental property. I'm sorry?
Thank you, Randy.
Okay.
Thank you, Randy.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you.
All right. Sorry about that. Okay, next is Karen Stoopy. I apologize if I said that incorrectly. Would you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Karen Stoopy, and I am running for 1st District Commissioner for St. Genevieve County. And I am the daughter of the late Norman and Shirley Follert. I've been married to Scott for 33 years now. We have 2 grown children, Samantha and Lee, which we raised here right in St. Genevieve. I have been employed with the St. Genevieve County for the past 13 years, and I've worked in the county clerk's office, which works directly with the county commissioners. I feel that I am experienced because of working in this office. I am familiar with the budgets, the financial statements, Board of Equalization, the election processes, and the day-to-day operations of our county government. I work with the Encode software program that runs the budget reports, and I understand how to review those reports and actually read the budgets. And I will be conservative with those budgets. I also feel like I'm qualified for this position through my experience in the county clerk's office. I also have worked for 15 years in the customer service field for durable medical equipment, and that has helped me deal with people in a professional manner. And my customer service experience, I feel will benefit me very greatly in this position. I'm a great listener, and I love to help people in any way I can. I have served on the St. Genevieve County Library Board for 2 years as their treasurer. I also have taught PSR for St. Genevieve County Parish, and I have volunteered my time for various fundraisers for the parish. I've also volunteered my time for the procurement committee for Spring for Down Syndrome, the Valley Auction, and for Project Graduation. And I have spent countless hours while raising my kids, volunteering my time for school events.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. The first question which goes to Don King first. If elected, would you use your role in trying to address health issues such as COVID-19 and the opioid situation?
What a great question, Mark. I would use the role for opioid by supporting our sheriff's department. In fact, beyond just opioid, but especially in that area. I know they've done a lot out in the far reaches of the county. I support that. I would try to always ensure the sheriff gets a proper portion of a budget to control those aspects. I believe it's very important for our county. As far as the COVID situation, you know, I think our current county commissioners have done a pretty good job. They've stayed in touch with, during the crisis, Sandra Bell, the county health administrator. Between her recommendations and their level heads, I thought they did a pretty good job. They recommended, you know, the state regulations, some basic safety guidelines, protection for all, without coming up with crazy, very restrictive, non-constitutional things that we're seeing in a lot of other areas. So overall, I think the county did a good job. I would try to continue along that path. We always want to watch out for the health and safety of our county, and we would do whatever necessary to do that.
Thank you very much. And now Tony Ritter, question?
Well, first of all, I'm not an expert in either one of those fields. So basically, I'm going to have to rely on the sheriff department. Gary Stolzer does an excellent job. So he would be needed. And possibly lean on the state representatives to help out. I know the pharmacies need to have some pressure put on them, and some of the doctors overprescribe, I feel. As far as COVID-19, you know, you got to rely on the CDC and the health department, and because legally the county commissioners can't enforce shutdowns and things like that unless the governor allows it. And you just need to do have good personal hygiene, and businesses need to have a good plan for cleaning, social distancing, and if masks could be an option. If you feel comfortable wearing one, you should wear one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Micah?
Thank you.
Question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So with regard to the current pandemic, I think it's an important role that the county commissioners have to reiterate the message behind the hospital and the experts that we have saying that it's important to wear masks, saying that it's important to wash your hands. And when that message comes out from the health department, and they have been fantastic in getting their message out, but I think it's an important role for the leaders of the county to also reiterate that message so that it has double the impact. The governor did allow counties to take a more serious stance on their shutdown. Obviously, I don't think that was necessary for St. Genevieve County to do that, but based on the recommendations of our health department, we had an opportunity to really get that message out and continue to do so. I don't think we've heard from the county with regard to the pandemic, aside from the health department, but not from the county commissioners since the shutdown. With the opioid crisis, there are more aspects to the solution than simply enforcement. I think our sheriff's department is a fantastic department. They're well-funded and they need to continue to be that way. But crises in opioids and in drug crises can't be solved by simply enforcement. There needs to be more education. There needs to be more counseling. Those are the areas that will help us really solve the problem here in our county. And hopefully we'll get some kind of support from the state for those programs as well.
Thank you very much. And now, Brandy Rusika, your
Yeah.
turn.
I've gotten to see quite a bit of this because I attend the meetings regularly, and I have to commend the commissioners and the health department for their handling of this. I especially feel that they did a good job from the standpoint that they did not issue any unconstitutional orders as some other places have. They issued recommendations. The only things that were officially shut down were things that happened on county property. I think it was a good stance to take and that it didn't infringe on anybody's rights, yet they were vigilant in providing information for people to make their own, intelligent decisions. So I think it was a good pattern to take, and I agree with it. As far as the narcotic issue, I agree. There's many components to that, and I think the sheriff's department does an excellent job with it. But I also agree that that there are many things beyond the scope of the county commission that need to be done in society to deal with that. And I don't think there's any one simple answer, but I think we always need to explore opportunities and to do everything that we can as county government to try to help people that are in these situations.
Thank you. And finally, Karen Stoopy. No.
We'll do Karen Stoopy, and then Brandy Barr will go last.
Okay, I think the county commission has done a great job as far as the COVID crisis in working with the health department and making sure that, we are trying to keep our numbers down as far as cases. And we've been very, very, as far as keeping those numbers down, we've done a great job with that. And I think we, need to continue to work with the health department and, continue to, press and the social distancing, the hygiene to people. And if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If that makes you feel better and makes you feel protected, do it. I mean, that's your own personal choice. So if that's what you feel like you need to do to protect yourself, go ahead. I also feel downy as far as the opioid crisis, programs for people to seek help and try to get funding for that, as far as programs that we can try to help people who are in those situations, that we can try and get them some help before, things really get bad for them, to try and, reduce the opioid crisis. If they feel like they have an issue, that they can try to get some kind of preventative help. They have somewhere to go whenever they do feel like they're in a crisis situation or they're getting in a situation that they feel they can't handle. I think that we need to have programs out there for them, not only for opioid, but for mental health and other issues that our county, that people have places to go to seek help when they need it. So that's kind of my stance on that, just to make sure that we have more programs available. But I think the county has done a great job with the COVID crisis.
Thank you very much. And now, Brandy Barr.
Okay, start with opia. As far as the commissioners, I think Gary Stolzer and the sheriff's department's doing a good job as far as taking care of that, and as related to the opia and drug enforcement in general, and they're doing a good job, I think. As far as the COVID, the last 4 or 5 months has not been a real good thing down there as far as making up your mind of what to do and whatnot. But we got through it, me and the other commissioners and the health department and the sheriff, and everybody had their input. And as far as the county, I think we're doing a good job, and just keep on doing it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, we are moving on to the next question. The next question will begin with Tony Ritter and move down in alphabetical order. The question is, how many hours per week do you feel like this job requires? How do you plan to adjust your current schedule if you are currently employed or in another position?
Well, county commissioner is a full-time job, and it requires, I don't know if you can put a number of hours on it. Some weeks you might work 50 or 60 hours, and other weeks you might work 20. I mean, nobody knows. As far as my full-time job, if I was elected, county commissioner would be my full-time job. So I would have to give up Bloomsdale. You know, in farming, I farm. So that's always been second as far as my job. I always put my primary job first. So, you know, you got to be available 24/7, because you may get phone calls in the middle of the night, or if you have flooding, you may have to go out and inspect roads, things like that. So pretty much 24/7. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next is Micah Rousey.
So I said a couple years ago that I thought the job of presiding commissioner was about a 40-hour-a-week job. And I still think that's the same for associate commissioner. The responsibilities of the job is something that I think might be in question. It's not about going to meetings. The responsibilities of the job is to read and study and learn about what the best decision for the community would be when that decision is in front of you. We can't all already know what the right decision is. We have to study that decision. And studying can happen at any time. I think it's also one of the main responsibilities for associate commissioner is community outreach. And if you've been, if you've seen my campaign, then you've got to know that I reach out to the people. I answer questions all the time, and I am available. Yes, I'll keep my full-time job and do that, and I think I'll be able to do both without a problem. I will have a lot of things that I need to give up, including a couple of YouTube channels that I manage. I'll probably be cooking less, I'll be less active in clubs, but I'm a pretty busy guy, and I keep those things up. Of course, if I had this job, I would make it a priority. My community is important to me, and that would be one of the most important jobs that I would have if I were elected to commissioner.
Okay, thank you, Micah. Next is Brandy Rusicka.
Yes. Okay.
Turn.
So, yeah, you know, that's a very good question. And I know in the past, there have been some people that seem to feel it's a part-time job. It's anything but a part-time job. As far as the number of hours, I would agree with what somebody else said. I believe it's flexible, but, you know, it's a full-time position. It's at least 40 hours a week, any way you look at it. And I would approach it from the standpoint, first of all, let me state, I'm retired. I don't have any other commitments other than things I want to do. So it would be my top priority. I don't have a job I would have to juggle with it. And I think it's extremely important that if you be attentive to the people's needs. That's what I did when I was on the city board. When you're on the city board, you're basically available 24/7. And I feel that that's how this job should be approached. And there's a lot more to it than just having the meetings and sitting there and deciding which road's going to get worked on and so forth. I've been attending these meetings regularly for over a year, and I can tell you, these guys do a lot of work. I mean, they're involved in so many things, from health concerns to getting grants to doing roads. It's a big responsibility, and it needs to be treated as such. And I'm willing and able and prepared to do just that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Karen Stoopy, you're next.
Yes, it is a full-time job, and I will make this my priority. It will be a full-time job for me. I will be in the office every day. I will be accessible. You will be able to reach me by phone, email, Facebook. If you want to knock on my door, you can come and knock on my door. I will be available to the people. I won't just be there on Mondays and Thursdays. I will be there every day. And there are things that have to be, there's issues and problems that come up on a daily basis. I know that because I work in the office, which is right next to it. And there are decisions that need to be made on a daily basis. So it's definitely a full-time job, and I will treat it as such.
Karen, you're coming in out of mute and unmute. Are you with us? Karen, you're muted. Oh.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You still have left if there's anything that you would like to say. 45 seconds.
Okay, I will be there, and it will be a full-time job for me. I will be there 40 hours a week or more, whatever is needed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next is Brandy Barr. Same question.
Okay, when the governor appointed me back in 9 years ago, I gave up a full-time job at Mississippi Lime and went on leave to do that full-time job. And a lot of people think it's a 2-day-a-week job. It's not. I'll guarantee you that. And because I give phone calls, I got this afternoon, I got 3 or 4 of them phone calls, and that happens a lot. And there's a lot of different meetings, district meetings, RPC meetings you go to, and it's more than a person thinks it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Don Keene.
I'll also agree that by going to the meetings and watching the current commission, I do spend quite a bit of time at it. As Micah had mentioned, I basically work primarily from a home office, although I travel about the countryside. My job right now is pretty much a 24/7. I receive calls Saturdays, Sundays, 6 a.m., 10 p.m. I answer the phone, I answer my emails. I will always be available. I've talked to my current employer. They're okay with me cutting back however much I need to. So I would probably still work a little at my current position, but my primary focus would be the commission job. And I see that as availability 7 days a week. I've always worked 6 or 7 days a week. So I don't feel that it is going to be any stretch. A few of the local boards, the ambulance district and so forth that I'm on are already on notice. If I am fortunate enough to be awarded this position by the citizens, I will resign some of those other jobs that do require some evenings and time to fulfill, and that will also help free up some time. So amount of hours, I don't know, but I will be on the job. I will do the job, and it will be my primary focus.
Thank you very much.
Next question. Let me start with Micah.
Okay. The next question will begin with Micah. What role can and should the commissioners play in economic development and creating jobs in St. Genevieve County?
So one of the areas of my platform was to create a business incubator. I think this kind of an investment is slow, it's small, and it helps people. I'm sorry, there's an echo. Can Karen, Stoopy, and Randy Barr?
Searching. I don't see anything to connect.
Randy, could you mute? Brandy Barr.
Okay.
All right, Micah, I paused your time, so you have 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
Thank you. That kind of an investment as a business incubator is small. It's not a huge investment that you can't go back on. It can also create a tax base, and it does that without having to increase taxes. So I'll talk more about that in my outro. But another way that we can increase taxes, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Can you repeat the question one more time?
What role can and should commissioners play in economic development and creating jobs?
Creating jobs, yeah. So the business incubator not only can create new taxes, but it helps people create their own job. But also, as an executive, I have experience with having an audience with people who speak that executive voice, and that would help our economic development by inviting businesses to see the benefit of St. Genevieve County and the people that are in it.
Thank you. And now, Brandy R. No.
Okay, I think it's a very good question. I think the commission should be active in promoting the county and the region, you know, the city and the county together, as a truly great place to do business, which I believe it is. I think it's under-recognized, and I would like to see it promoted further. The business incubator thing, I don't have a problem with what Micah said. I mean, I think anything that fosters business growth is a good thing. What we really need is for more businesses to come in to this area. Now, working in conjunction with the city, we could probably get more done in that respect. And it can be done through a number of incentives, if you will, to bring businesses in. And, you know, retail would ultimately be the best, because the more retail you have, the more sales tax base you have, and then it decreases the tax burden on everybody else. And theoretically, you could actually lower taxes if you had a wider base. I think that's something to definitely shoot for. If I'm fortunate enough to be in that position, I would certainly pursue every avenue possible that, you know, we could do this in order to foster business growth, because I think it's critical. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. So we definitely need business growth. And I think there's no reason why this community can't attain that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Karen.
I think the commission. Is it me?
Yes, Karen.
I think the commissioners do play a huge role in trying to bring economic development into this area, and we need that. We definitely need retail stores. We need jobs. We need things to come to our community. We need the retail stores to create that sales tax base. We as commissioners should work towards that. We need to promote whatever empty buildings we have, whatever land we may have available that we can promote. We need to give them tax breaks to come here. And if they make a commitment to coming to our town and actually make a good commitment that we can give them tax breaks for an extended period of time, then, you know, we need to do that. We need to, also work with the city as much as we can to bring retail stores, to bring jobs here. That would be one of my goals, is to make St. Genevieve grow. We need to do that. We need to save our historic district, but we need to grow also. And we need to move out Progress Parkway. The name of the road says what we need to do. We need to move out. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it said my internet connection something was wrong, but definitely the commissioners should play a huge role in economic development. St. Genevieve is a great place. You have a good base here. People are hardworking people. And I think if we have programs where we can do job training for people to bring jobs here, to look for programs like that for the trades or IT, you know, I think that's the best way that we can go. We have a great workforce here and we need to promote it.
Okay, thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
And now Brandy Barr.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, in the last 9 years, we belong to multi districts down to RPC, and we have a lot of meetings on bringing businesses in and stuff, and I'm a believer in it, and it's hard to do, and we've been trying. Look what we did out at the Progress Drive out there. We got the sports complex, the Challenger ball field, and the water park. And I think me and the commissioners are doing a good job doing it. We just need to do more. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
And now Don King.
Randy's right. The commissioners took a good first step out on Progress Parkway. They made conditions desirable for families. And we're already seeing a little bit of spin-off business from that. A couple of small restaurant type businesses. More have got construction under the way. We also need to reduce regulation as much as possible, keep our taxes as low as possible for businesses. We need to promote our empty buildings and support tourism, as you know, with the new national park designation. That can be quite a boon for our community. And above all, we need to work to support new residential construction. I can tell you, as a retailer for 20 plus years, we have a high sales tax and we have a limited trade area. We're backed up to a river. The third part of the county goes south. The western third goes west. The northern third tends to go north. At least that's what all our studies used to show. So we've got to remain competitive on sales taxes. Retailers don't grow if people aren't there spending money. It's as simple as that. So we've got to hopefully increase residential growth, bring families in. We've got great schools. We've got a lot of things going for us. We've got those improved parks. We can bring in more families and get more college graduates and that sort of thing back in our city. That's where the growth will come from.
Thank you. Randy Barr, could you please mute your microphone?
Okay.
Thank you.
Now,
Am I up?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with all the other candidates. They pretty much nailed it on the head. You know, the county commissioners play an important role for economic development and jobs. We probably need to lean on our state reps and governor a little more, see if they can't help us out, and economic boards. If we can get more business in town, it should be able to relieve our taxes a little bit. So I think everybody would be in favor of that. It's always a big plus when you can lower taxes. And yeah, there's a lot of opportunity in St. Genevieve. We have a lot of ground outside city limits where they could develop. So hopefully we can do that in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. The next question is, oh, actually, we are at the point where we are closing now. So you have an opportunity to give us your closing statements or tell us about what makes you the best candidate. We're going to start 2 minutes each, and we'll start with Brandy Rusicka.
Okay, so once again, I would like to thank everybody that made this possible and for the opportunity to be a part of this and to engage in the discussion. I feel that I am the best candidate for this because of the fact that I have the 4 years of government experience as an alderman in the city, at which time, you know, it gave me much needed knowledge into the inner workings of you know, how the city and the county work together. I've been regularly attending county commission meetings for over a year. I am retired. My time is my own. I can devote full time to this. I've been a successful business owner my whole life, basically self-employed for most of those years. And I think I bring all of those skills to the table. And I thank you once again for allowing me, you know, this time, all of us, for allowing all of us to do this and for putting this together. I just want to say that if I'm elected also, I am very accessible. I always was when I was on the city board. And I truly believe in St. Genevieve. I love it here. I truly believe in its people. It's a wonderful place. And I think together we can build a really, really bright future. So basically that's it. I would just like to say to everybody, thank you once again. And please pull a Republican ballot and vote for me on August 4th. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Next is Karen Stoopy. You have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
I would love to represent the St. Genevieve County voters and be their first district commissioner. I feel like my honesty, integrity, and down to earth demeanor is an asset to this position. I feel like my customer service skills in past employers is going to be a great asset to this position. I feel like my experience with the budgets and the financial statements and the day-to-day operations of county government makes me qualified for this position by working through the county clerk's office. I want the residents to also to know that I am pro-union, that my dad was a union electrician. My son is in a union right now with machinist union. My husband was a union member when he worked for Mississippi Lime. I want people to know that if you pull a Democratic ballot and you vote for me, I will represent you. I will represent you to the best of my ability. I will support you with good benefits and good wages. I want people to know that I am pro-union. I have that background and I was raised in a union family. So I do want people to know that. I also feel like that I want people to know again that I will be in the office every day. I will be there. I will listen. I will listen to your concerns. And also, I feel like people need to know that there's other things that happen in that office. It's just not about road and bridges. There's so many things that take place in that office on a daily basis. I mean, there's decisions with the budgets. There is decisions about property and law.
Okay, Karen. We lost you in the last 5 seconds.
And knowing, hello?
Oh, hi. You have 5 seconds that we
Okay.
lost you.
Yeah,
Say
that's
one
okay. I'm a Democratic candidate. Please vote for me on August 4th. I will represent you and I will be there for you. You can get in touch with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is Brandy Barr.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank the Extension Office and Harold for having this. And I really would like to comment on my other two commissioners I work with. I think we did a lot of good things over the last 9 years when I worked with them. And I want to continue to keep doing that as much as possible. And I think I stayed true to my commitments over the last 9 years, and I want to continue to keep doing that. And I better mention this. I didn't mention before at opening. I'm married to Martha. My wife Martha had 3 children and 6 grandkids. I better say that or I'll get in trouble. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Randy. Next, Don Keene, your closing statements.
Thank you. Mark, I'm going to throw out a Herald item here that we did a little housekeeping in the beginning. I'm afraid the viewers didn't get to see it. So this isn't a jab at the Herald, but it's important to get out. In this week's Herald edition for the candidate biographies, an accidental mistake was made listing me as a Democratic candidate. It should have been listed as a Republican. While I will always work to do my best for all residents of this county, regardless of the party affiliation, I just wanted to be clear that a Republican ballot would need to be pulled on the August 4th primary to cast your vote for me. I also want to thank the St. John Herald and the Missouri Extension for the opportunity given us this evening. With the current pandemic and its many challenges of closings and quarantines, it's been a tough year for a candidate to meet people and get their platform out. I grew up here. I've lived here my whole life. My wife and I have raised our kids here, and now I have grandkids growing up here. I want our county to continue to be the great place it is to raise a family. The world is getting a little crazy in places. We need good people with business experience, family values, and good old-fashioned common sense to step up and get involved in our community to keep our community safe and prosperous. I have that experience, those values, and that common sense to get the job done. I look forward to working with and for the people of this county. I would appreciate your vote on August 4th. On a personal quick note, we have some really good candidates for commissioner positions this go round. Whatever the voters of my district and the county as a whole decide, I'm sure they'll be well represented. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up is Tony Ritter. Your closing statements, please.
Yeah, I just want to say that I was running for county commissioner because I want to positively influence the direction of this county. When I was a kid, we didn't have a whole lot to do. And with the water park, the community center, the ball fields, we have a lot more now for the kids in this community. I also want to bring new business and job opportunities. I feel that's important. And I want to ensure that our tax resources are spent wisely and effectively. Also would like to work with the city, see the city and county work together to accomplish things. I would like to see our county grow, of course, and have good relationships. I'm probably the only candidate in District 2 that I have 21 years experience building roads and bridges. So I know that's not the whole job. It's a part of the job, but it's an important part. And I'm the one with the experience to build roads. And I'm not afraid to work long hours. I've worked long hours my whole life. So I will put in the work, whatever it takes. And I also have experience with working with the Corps engineers on levees, which is important for St. Genevieve because they're protected by a levee. So I have experience with that as well. I want to wish everybody running for office good luck. And thank everybody for putting this on. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Next, we have Micah.
Hello. So I want to thank you guys again, the Extension and the newspaper, for hosting this. And to piggyback on Don Keene's reminder, I'm in District 2. I'm a Democrat, and my opponent is Tony Ritter. He is not a Republican. And I want to address experience. We have a roads department. And so I think that's one of the areas where we don't really need experience in the commission. We can rely on our roads department for that. What we don't have is a technology department. And particularly in this pandemic, I think it's easy to see that experience in technology is a valuable resource. And I think that's one of the advantages of having me serve in the role of commissioner. I want to say also that there are a couple new sections to my platform. One of them is the support of unions. While I helped campaign for No on A, our unions are still under attack. Our local economy is absolutely supported by the strength of our unions, and if they collapse, so do we. After Missouri voters overwhelmingly shot down right to work, our county especially, the Republican governor tried to get counties to enact right to work individually, and we need a commission willing to take bold action against that. Also, I want to expand on the creating an business incubator. Business incubators provide members of the public an opportunity to take their business idea and receive startup funding or other resources to try their business out. And if it works out, it becomes a tax generating business. And if it doesn't, go on to the next idea. I envision the county could support business ideas in any industry, anywhere in the county, including technology companies that don't require large city markets. This kind of an action is an investment in the people. It isn't a large single bet that we can't go back on in an attempt to grow the tax base without increasing taxes. I have over 20 years of experience being an advocate at state and national levels, and I'm comfortable speaking in front of crowds with people of influence. There is hard work ahead to make this a strong community, strong financially, and visible to the state and federal organizations and private companies, and I'm the person who can perform that best. So again, please visit my website at www.rousey.us or visit my Facebook page at facebook.com/rousey.us.
Thank you, Micah. All right, that wraps up our 2020 candidate forum. We would like to thank everyone that was so willing to participate on such short notice. Not everything was perfect, but thank you all for still holding on with us. We hope to do this again. Thank you for those that joined us on Facebook Live. We do expect there to be a YouTube recording that is made available so that each of you can share through your campaign. So if there's not any more questions from you as participants, I think we can call it a night.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, St. John.
Thanks, sir.
God bless America.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes.